My vision for 2030 is that I see sports organisations using donor economics to guide their practices, their business operations and their governance. So all the way from biodegradable medical tape to recycled water turf management, LED lighting, environmental management systems. I hope to see all of these pro-environmental initiatives coming into the sports sector.
I think I'll see sporting events in 2030 is a lot less rubbish and waste at the end of the day. That we'll have begun to transition away from single-use plastics, if not entirely, then most of the way at events, and people will have better engagement with making sure that what they do bring either comes home with them or goes into the right waste streams.
I think I will see solar panels on sport clubs, like home rooms and everything.
I think I'll see more people riding bikes and catching public transport to basketball games and footy games to save energy and not use up as much fossil fuels.
I'm hoping, and I know we will see that filtering through from seeing those high-profile athletes as role models, actually walking the talk, filter through and also be there at club level, state level, at community level, but also then looking at repurposing, recycling and reusing. We don't need a new pair of swimming costumes all the time. So how can we look at using those to life, and then what happens to them at the end of life?
I hope I'll see plants outside and inside wherever you're playing sport, stadiums, soccer fields, cricket pitches and footy ovals.
For 2030, my vision as an athlete is to walk out onto a stadium surrounded by trees with an upcycled football shirt on, walking onto turf that is managed with recycled water, and I want to have my ankle strapped with biodegradable tape, and I'll be assigning a young girl's scarf made of ethically sourced and recycled materials.
I hope I see more people recycling their soccer boots or uniform or just like the sports shoes to the club, so the club can give them to someone who either desperately needs them or is just starting at the club.
I think that that there will be a lot more water fountains in like basketball stadiums and lots of sports areas, so people don't have to keep buying plastic water bottles.
I think I might see and hear athletes on the TV or radio talking about how sustainable they have made the sport and how it's really sustainable to play now.
And in 2030, looking back, that we'll be hearing athletes, families, communities advocating for how we build our facilities into the future, how we repurpose our facilities, how we look at energy use in our facilities, how we look at the building materials that if we're going to be doing any works on, how we're going to have to do some repurposing of facilities in the future. That comes as part of the natural asset management of those facilities. In 2030, we'll only be a couple of years out from the 2032 Brisbane Olympics, and what a wonderful opportunity where we know there's been a commitment to that, to be able to see that filter through from net zero and very positive facilities and event filter down into national events and facilities, and then to community facilities, because money and sponsorship come to those big events. It's the community facilities that struggle in that way. So I think I'll be hearing the community saying to their local council or the state governments, help us do this.
I hope I hear more nature sounds like birds, insects and other animals.
What I think that I'll hear in 2030 at major events is a lot less car noise, that we'll have transitioned to having almost exclusively electric vehicles and active transport around those events. And so instead of that car noise, you'll hear people talking and chatting and hopefully hear some birds and a bit of nature.
I hope I'm hearing like people talking about how they can look after the grounds, make them more playable, and less dry and more looked after.
In 2030, my vision is that I won't hear about greenwashing. I want to see climate action that is genuine and authentic and change achieved by actual action instead of just words.
I think that I will feel proud that I helped make this future be a possibility.
2030, I'll feel like the community's achieved something and we've worked together to make sports centres and grounds really sustainable.
In 2030, my vision is to feel hope, because without hope we have nothing. And so I want to feel optimistic that sports organisations and the sports sector are green leaders, that I'm not anxious anymore about climate change. I don't feel disappointed when things don't happen. I'm seeing real action and I feel good about that.
In 2030, and know that I will feel optimistic still about the things that are happening and can continue to happen through the marriage between sport, particularly my sport in water polo, and the actions that are taken and being undertaken to reduce our carbon footprint on our wonderful planet, and to do things that make a real positive change in that space. The other thing I think I feel now, and I'm going to feel even more then in 2030, is proud of the role that athletes, a high profile, but community athletes, junior athletes, their families and our sports, their administrators, the event organisers, have taken to actually promote better ways that we operate to minimise our impact, but also to reduce our carbon footprint.
I hope I feel good because the environment is getting way better.
Right now, I feel excited for all of this stuff to happen, and in 2030, I will feel proud that all this stuff has happened.
In 2030, I think that I'll feel like at major events that I can breathe easier, because with changes in policies to reduce fossil fuel emissions and to move to more active transport and electric vehicles, the air will be cleaner. There won't be as much particulate matter around those event spaces, and hopefully as well with more nature plantings and thinking around that we'll also have the benefits of filtering the air that plants and trees bring. So yeah, having cleaner air and not having to think about how's the air quality today, I think will be something that I'm looking forward to feeling in 2030.
I think I'm gonna be proud in 2030 because there might be lots of more plants and lots more oxygen and less waste.
Like, I can't wave a magic wand and fix everything, but sort of within my sphere I can try to push some things along and do my bit and hopefully make it easier for other people to do their bit. So I think everyone has their bit. Yeah, I think people shouldn't feel like they're too small to make a difference.
Sport has a huge influence on social change, and there's no other phenomena that surpasses the reach sport has. So I think to be green leaders, sports organisations have a huge role to play in action against climate change. They can inspire others to take action, they can advocate for the climate, and they can change their own practices. And I hope by 2030, we are harnessing this opportunity as the sports community.
Net Zero Sport!